I showed that I can more than handle myself, so I think that people are looking at me a new way today.
I felt good. I felt like I was able to show people who I was.
I feel pretty good.
Feeling like you had a win tonight?
Yeah, I had a good time.
I'd give myself an A.
I'm really excited. I think it went really well.
Who needs surrogates and people like us when we used to work in politics to spin a debate performance when you can just head out there and do it yourself? Most of the Democrats have spent the afterglow of last night's comments rating themselves, and it might not surprise you to know they all think they did great. Jen, Jason, and Tim are here. Look, this is something that I think Trump helped usher in. Like, why have flax if you can just live tweet it yourself? And it's one of the things that I'm not sure isn't better, right? More of the candidate, more access.
I mean, it's better for the press. I think the reason why you don't want to do it is because...
Oh, I know how the... I work for Sarah Palin and George W. Bush. I could write the... I know why you don't want to do it, but I'm just saying...
But for the viewers who may not, you want to leave it at the debate stage. You know, Elizabeth Warren and, Julian Castro's best moment on the debate stage, and you don't want to give the press, you want to force the press to use the footage that you want them to use, which is the debate. So if you put them in the spin room, they're going to use that footage instead because it's their own footage. But the problem is if, one candidate goes, then all the candidates have to go, because otherwise then you're like Hillary, then you're like hiding and you're like being elitist and you got to get in the scrum and do it. And so, I think doing the television appearances afterwards is a good idea. It lets you frame what happened in the debate and put a stamp on it. But it's like not very dignified, these scrums. But
I guess
you got 22 candidates, you got to do it.
I agree.
Why do you have them?
So we should explain what happens. People like us walk in and someone has a tall sign with our name on it, and it's like your worst nightmares from third grade dodgeball of not getting picked. You sort of have this feeling like, is anyone going to want to talk to me?
It's like the Finnish reporter is circling around Tim. All the big reporters are interviewing Trump, and I've got the Finnish guy and one guy from BuzzFeed. No offense, BuzzFeed.
Delaney will be in the corner. Somebody will finally go talk to him. I mean, I think it's nice. Occasionally, for me, the more accessible people can be, the better. I contrast this. So last week I was at the fish fry, right? And everybody at the fish fry said that in the past it used to be this thing in South Carolina where the candidates would go on stage, talk, eat some fish, do the electric slide, and talk to regular people. Now, since there was 20, they don't have that access. I'm glad to see that at a debate, people are getting out there. They're mixing it up. And if they'll mix it up with the press, and the press is going to have a more realistic
Regular people access is important with you. The press gets enough access. I mean, look, the spinning is done already on Twitter. They get off the stage, and the spinning is already over. So going into a spin room to talk about how well you did seems pretty silly at this point. I mean, we're going to have 18 of these debates. I think maybe we should just kind of let them stand for itself.
It shows you're a gamer. It shows you're not scared of them. It shows you're willing to get in the mix, and that's what's important for the candidates.
There's some reporting. So all 10 were in the spin room last night. I think they all sat with our own Chris Matthews, and it was great. I mean, as someone now that covers races, it's fantastic.
Was any news made in any of those?
Beto and Castro sort of attacked each other in the post, and that's the
and that was a bad idea for both of them. Castro should have left it alone.
Is that the press people in us? I mean, I thought so too.
Yeah.
But there's already some reporting that tonight of the 10, 9 are expected in there, and guess who's not expected?
Joe.
Yeah.
Is that a mistake?
No.
It's not going to have any impact on him. He's still going to be the front runner.
Look, Kate Bedingfield is his communications director, deputy campaign manager, a really smart woman. She's got a lot of hard calls to make, and she's totally right. If you put him in the spin room, nothing to be gained, and there is risk, and don't do it. And he's not going to lose his status as front runner because he didn't go.
The only risk is by leaking out there that he might not. If he has a bad debate and has to go into the spin room, you are kind of showing your cards that you knew that things didn't go well.
He can't have a debate so bad that he's going to have to go into the room because he's still Joe Biden.
He could.
He does have a certain amount of Teflon that unless he gets up there and blows his nose or says something offensive, and I don't think he's going to pull any of those things off, he should be fine regardless. I don't think he's going to have to go into the room.
And I think he's more likely to go in the spin room if he thinks he has a good debate, to underscore a good debate. I think if you have a bad debate, you send people like us, right? Because, I don't know. Maybe
that depends on how
depends on how bad, I guess.
I guess that's true. All right, we are going to sneak in our very last break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thanks to Jen, Jason, and Tim for heading down memory lane about the way things were, right? We can be nostalgic about stuff that doesn't matter because everything else feels so end of days. Thank you, most of all, for watching. That does it for this hour. I'm Nicolle Wallace, but I am going to be back tonight like forever. I think 6 hours. Not just me, not just me. All the fun friends you like. Round 2 of the debates here on MSNBC. But first, MTV.